Welcome to Creating a Simpler Life. Today I am going to show you how I make a birch bark and crochet ornament. Just simply take a piece of birch bark, and I have a video where I show how to harvest this birch bark, so I'll link to that up here and in the description. And I'm just simply taking a glass and using this to trace a circle on. So that's one, and then I'm going to trace a second circle. Now I'm simply going to cut these circles out with a pair of scissors. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but I definitely really don't want the ink to show. Just note, I never harvest the bark from a living tree. That really harms the tree, and it's never my intention to harm the tree in any way. So this bark is definitely from a tree that was already down. I now have two simple circles. What I'm going to do now is just glue these two circles together. I have Aleene's tacky glue. It's one of my favorite glues. It's really, really strong. And I've been using this for over 30 years. Goodness gracious. And I'm just gonna take it and, believe it or not, just put it between two big heavy books to dry. So I have my thesaurus, Webster's Dictionary, and they're going right between them, and we'll come back in 24 hours. Okay, so I have all of the ornaments that I made, and now I'm just gonna punch holes in them. I don't know what size it is, but I'm gonna use that size. It doesn't say it. It's not the smallest, but it's also not the largest. And I'm just gonna go around and punch holes every 1/4 inch, all the way around. It takes me 2 hands to push because it's not that easy to go through 2 layers of birch bark. You could use a regular hole puncher, but it does tend to make a big hole, so I wanted to try to use a smaller hole, and that's why I used this. But keep in mind, you could use a regular hole puncher. Next step, crochet. I'll be back. So I have 3 types of yarn here that I'm going to use. I have just some leftover pure cotton sugar and cream red yarn left over. I have this wool yarn that I'm gonna use, and I'm gonna do some with twine as well. I have 2 different size crochet hooks. I'm gonna start with a 3.5 just to do the basic around. I'm only gonna do 3 for now because I need to glue this one, so I'm just gonna stick to these 3 right now. Really quick before I get started, I just wanna take the scissors and go around and just trim the edges a little bit better to make them more even, so that that'll crochet a little bit nicer. I'm gonna start with the wool, because this wool is really nice. Simple loop. And I'm just going to single crochet all the way around very loosely. So I inserted through a hole. It's not easy to do because it's very stiff. Pull the yarn through. So now I have 2 loops, and then pull it through again for a single crochet. So I'm doing a nice loose single crochet stitch all the way around, but make a nice big loop. Insert your needle, pull your yarn through, and make that single crochet. Nice big loop. In, pull your yarn through, and through again. And single crochet, and now we're just gonna connect to that original stitch with a slip stitch. So I used the 3.5 needle to do single crochet very loosely, make the loops really big all the way around. Now I'm going to switch to a 4.5 millimeter hook to go around the next time. Now the second row around, we're going to do 2 single crochets in every one. And that's so that because it's actually a longer path all the way around. But every 3 single crochets, we're going to do a picot stitch. Now, I'm not really good at teaching how to do those stitches. I'll link in the description below and maybe right up here in the left-hand corner to a channel that teaches that stitch very, very well. So please, if you don't know what the picot stitch is, check that channel out. You don't have to do the picot stitch. You could just do single crochet all the way around. You could do a shell stitch around. There's a lot of options. I happen to just really like the picot stitch. For some reason, I just think it looks really nice. So I'm going to chain 1, single crochet twice into this first single crochet, single crochet once into the next one, and then I'm going to do my picot stitch, which is basically 3 chains, and then you take these 2 little stitches at the bottom and you just pull a slip stitch through, and then you do 3 single crochets again, and then you chain 3 and go into the 2 stitches at the bottom, slip stitch all the way through, pull it, and then 3 single crochets again. And that just gets repeated all the way around. I know I don't do any counting. It just seems to work out. And if you have a few extra stitches between 1 or 2 of them, it's totally not the end of the world. Nobody ever notices. And they just end up looking really, really nice anyway. So it's fine. So I'm just going to continue around and I'll be back. You can see how that pops and looks around that. That's one side, and that's the other side. And it looks great. They look really, really nice. Top. And cut. Okay. And there you have it. Now you can choose to leave them as they are. You can do a design on them. I like to do snowflakes using a wood burning tool. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'll be back with you in a few minutes. So I have my wood burning tool, and I'm just going to get that heated up and do some snowflakes on these ornaments. I'm using a bowl tip, very simple. That's ready. And there you have a snowflake on that side. Looking beautiful. Merry Christmas. So I have a snowflake on one side, and Merry Christmas on the other. I'm just going to finish up these other ornaments. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. We'll see you on the next video.